So let's be real. One of the hardest parts of the beauty industry and getting started is not finding your kit, getting your tools, getting the supplies. It is often figuring out where to start and which specific skill do you want to start with. There are so many and they're all so exciting. Sometimes that is the biggest barrier to entry. People often know they want to be in the beauty industry, but they don't know exactly what they want to do. They just know that they like the experience of watching makeup artists or getting their nails done. One of the hardest parts is choosing where to start. Should you go all in on braiding? Should you invest in a lash certification? Or should you build your whole business around just brows? Every new beauty professional faces this. It continues to come up even as trends change and new services emerge. Because each path does have potential, and each one can often look like the right answer. And if you're not careful, you can waste momentum by getting certified in a million different things without ever actually building momentum. That's why in this video, I'm going to break it down for you. We'll look at braids, lashes, brows. We'll talk about pros and cons, the lifestyle, the money side, the experience. And by the end, you'll have the clarity to help you choose which part of the beauty industry is for you. So before we dive in, let's talk about why this matters so much. When you're brand new in the beauty industry, your most valuable resource is not time, it's not money, it's focus. If you spread yourself too thin, trying to learn everything at once, you confuse your potential clients, you burn yourself out, and you kind of lose the passion. So choosing one skill or one specialty does not mean that you're locked in forever. It actually means you're giving yourself time to build traction quickly. You can always expand and pivot and add on more services later. But you need a starting point. Think of it like this. When people in your area hear your name, what do you immediately want them to associate you with? The braiding stylist who's booked out, the girl everyone goes to for lashes, the girl whose work is always getting tagged on Instagram, the baddest barber, maybe the brow artist that every bride trusts right before their wedding. This reputation starts to build purely with your focus. And once you choose a lane, it becomes easier to market. It becomes easier for people to book and easier to make money more consistently. One of your biggest advantages with braids is accessibility. In many states, you don't necessarily need a license to offer braiding. In some states, braiding falls under a styling category and doesn't require a cosmetology license. This means you can start building income before you finish school. You can utilize braiding while you're completing your cosmetology license. You can use it to build relationships and skills and service and business expertise while you're figuring out your next step. Each skill can be a vehicle to the next. Braids also tap into deep cultural roots. They're not just hairstyles, they're an art form, they're a ritual, they're deep, deep service. They're a tradition, and for so many communities, an absolute necessity. That means that the demand is going to stay steady year-round. There's kids that are going back to school. There's adults that are wanting protective styles. There are people getting ready to travel. Braiding is always relevant. Now let's talk about the pros. First, loyalty. Once someone finds a braider that they trust, they want to go all in on that person. You become part of their routine and part of their life. You're often spending long periods of time together and sometimes seeing these people every few weeks. Second, word of mouth. Braids are visible. People notice braids. And when someone loves their style, they're going to talk about it, and they become a walking advertisement. Third, flexibility. You can start by renting a chair, sharing a chair, in a salon suite, or even a traveling stylist. But there are also challenges. Braiding is very physically demanding. Long sessions can mean long hours on your feet, your hands cramping, your fingers hurting, and your back can be straining. And it's also very time sensitive. A full box braid session may take 5 hours when you're first starting, and sometimes even for the pros. And that limits how many clients you can see per day. So, really getting to know these qualities of each service helps you understand what to consider. If you're someone with great stamina, lots and lots of patience, and loves spending long periods of time with one person, braids could be an amazing path for you. I know a braider that started very young, charging $80 for a full head of braids. And within a year, she was able to charge more than double where she started. That is the power of braiding. Next, let's look at lashes. The lash industry has absolutely exploded in the last decade. Certification programs are everywhere, and the demand for lashes are strong because once someone starts becoming a lash client, they often continue lashes for a while. Here are the pros. First, the profit margins. A full set of lashes can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 plus, depending on your area, the style, and all the add-ons. And that comes with fill appointments every 2 weeks. So that keeps revenue very steady. Second, the time. A full set may take 2 hours once you're skilled, and a fill maybe an hour. This means you can get more clients compared to braiding. Third, the scalability. Once you're established, you can add more lash beds and bring in more team members, start selling products, and add more income streams to the service. But let's be clear about the cons. Lash work is very meticulous. You need a lot of patience, a steady hand, and very good eyesight. It can also cause great eye strain and lots of back tension if you don't set up your workstation correctly or if you get into bad posture habits. And there are also lots of product costs with lashes. Adhesives, glues, removers, tape, accessories, different types of lashes. Oftentimes you have to have a certain range of variety available so that you can offer different things to customers, or you never really know if someone's going to ask for something slightly different than last time, and that means the upfront cost is a little bit more. Another thing to think about lashes, oftentimes people are laying there with their eyes closed, and that changes the client experience. It can become a spa vibe, it can become a place of relaxation, it can become a place where people end up just talking to you the whole time. And so if you're looking for a very social experience, lashes might not be for you. But on the flip side, if you would love to just do your work and not have to talk a lot, lashes could be a great outlet for you. For someone who loves detail work and wants high profit margins quickly, lashes could be a great fit. I know an artist that started off charging $90 for a full set and now charges around $300. She's now making more in a day than she was making in a week at her previous retail job. And that is the power of lashes. Another exciting thing about lashes is that they're seen as a luxury service. And so it's not hard to build referrals because people know that you're going to be growing. You're going to be growing out of that price point, and they're not going to be able to afford the $300 lashes, but they may be someone who's willing to pay $90. And so people will come and flock to you when you're a beginning lash artist because they want access to this luxury service and they see that as an opportunity. There's a different barrier to entry of getting your new clients in hair versus lashes. There's not as much of a trust or a hesitancy as there is with hair. People want access to these luxury experiences with new people and love finding a fresh lash artist that they can grow with. Now let's talk about brows. Brows might seem like such a tiny service, but they carry a big potential. Because they're quick, they're versatile, and they're upsell friendly. Here are the pros. A wax or a tint can take 15 to 20 minutes. That means more clients per hour. Second, the upsell. A brow client can easily become a lash client, a skincare client, a product client, or even a makeup client. Third, events. Brows are often seen as part of preparation. People preparing for weddings, photo shoots, school pictures, even professional photos. Brows are always considered. Brows also have levels. You can start with basic shaping and waxing as a professional, and then you can add on more different types of service. There's lamination, there's tinting, there's waxing, and now there's even microblading, which is an even more advanced training, but you already have the base of customers to sell this higher ticket service to. This builds ability and creates a ladder for you to upsell clients and to offer diverse services for just this one particular area. Now let's talk about the cons. Brows do require precision. A bad brow job is very beyond noticeable. It's very personal because it's a permanent part of people's faces. And people's faces are tied to their identity. And so when their brows are not the way that they want them, it's a very big experience. Another barrier for brow artists is that training can be very expensive, especially for microblading, and sometimes there are additional regulations and additional licensure. But for someone who wants quick appointments, who likes repetition, who likes repeat business, who likes short exchanges and lots of upsell opportunities, brows can be a great entry point. I know a brow artist that started doing $20 waxes right out of school. Within 2 years, she had added lamination and microblading, and she had moved into a studio suite for brows, and now she charges $400 for a single session, all with eyebrows. And that is the power of brows. So these are only a few examples of the different subsections that exist in the beauty professional industry. And how do you decide which one is for you? First, look at your natural strengths. If you have stamina, you love working for hours on one project, if you like to hyper focus, if you like working with your hands, braids could be a really good fit. If you have focus, you enjoy precision work, if you have a lot of calm energy and like focusing in on tiny, tiny details, lashes might be your lane. If you like speed, upselling, change, variety, products, brows could be the best entry point for you. The second thing to consider is look at your market. What are people around you in your area asking for? Is every other stylist in your industry doing braids? Maybe there's a way to set yourself apart. If lash bars are already everywhere in your area, maybe brows are the thing that are underserved. Next, take a look at your resources. Which path can you realistically start with? Maybe braiding, maybe you already know the basics, maybe lashes if you're ready to invest in a big certification, or maybe brows because you can start small and expand. The important thing is that you choose one and you start. All of these paths are buildable, and you can always start one and add more later. Many of the top beauty professionals that I know started with one skill. They built traction and then they layered in more services. But the reason that they're so successful is because they focused first. If you're listening to this and you want clarity on which path to take, you can book a session with me on BeautyVoyage. I can walk you through mapping out your decisions, talking about pricing to see what income would look like within each specialty, and guidance on how to market whichever lane you choose. The biggest mistake that new beauty professionals make is waiting until they feel 100% ready. The truth is you never feel fully ready. But with the right tools and the right support, you can get past that barrier, and that allows you to build income and confidence now. Click the link below, book a session with me or another mentor on BeautyVoyage, and let's figure out the best starting place for you. Whether you choose braids, lashes, or brows, each one has potential. Each one can be profitable, and each one can build you an amazing career. The key is just to not chase them all at once. Choose one that fits your strength and your desired lifestyle, your market, and the resources you have today, and simply commit. If this helped you, hit subscribe. I've got more videos coming to help you through building every step of your beauty professional career.